Trains have been with us for centuries, beginning with the Industrial Revolution, more specifically since 1804 with its invention credited to a British engineer by the name of Richard Trevithick. They have been playing a significant role when it comes to transporting large quantities of people and goods across long distances, with it allowing entire nations to rise. And yet, despite their monumental role in shaping the modern world, they are often sidelined in our transportation discourse. Why is it that we rarely speak of trains with the same reverence as we do other modes of travel? Why is it that despite the unrivaled impact, they remain a quiet giant, rarely given the recognition they deserve? My name is Naufal, Zahran, Razzaq, and today we will explore the overlooked yet undeniable importance of trains, the true backbone in the world of transportation. A train, by definition, is a series of connected vehicles that run along steel tracks to transport goods or passengers. Powered by locomotives, which can be either steam, diesel, or electric, trains have become one of the most efficient and reliable forms of land transportation, especially for long distances, due to them operating on steel tracks with steel wheels allowing for lower friction. Their operation depends on fixed rail networks which allow them to maintain a steady, predictable course, often carrying heavy loads or large numbers of people with minimal infrastructure compared to roads or airways. As stated prior, the history of trains dates back to the early 19th century, when the advent of the steam engine revolutionized transportation. Railroads evolved from earlier transportation systems like canals, which had become essential for moving bulk goods during the Industrial Revolution. In areas with hilly terrain or lacking navigable rivers, transporting goods by water became impractical, especially coal. This led to the development of plateways in the 16th to 17th century, which used parallel metal tracks to reduce friction for wheeled vehicles, laying the groundwork for later steam-powered railways. By the early 19th century, steam locomotives began replacing animal and gravity traction on railroads, driven by innovations like Richard Trevithick's high-pressure engine and George Stephenson's improvements to the locomotive design, including the Blucher in 1814 and the famous rocket in 1829. Stephenson's innovations were crucial in the development of the first successful railroads. His work on the Stockton and Darlington Railway, completed in 1825, marked the first common carrier line handling both passengers and freight. While initially experimental, it quickly proved its value, boosting coal demand and establishing the potential of rail transport. Stephenson's subsequent success with the Liverpool-Manchester Railway in 1830 demonstrated the viability of steam-powered rail travel for both freight and passengers. This line, although costly to build, showed that railroads could meet diverse transportation needs, ultimately proving the adaptability and setting the stage for global rail expansion. In an age where the need for humans to commute from one place to another is becoming ever more important, we of course have to consider the means of transportation that people use on a daily basis. According to a study conducted by Prierto-Curiel and Juan P. Ospina across 794 cities in 61 countries with a total combined population of over 850 million people, around 51% of those people commute by car, with the largest contributor being North America, with almost 92% of travel made using automobiles. Of course, the choice of transportation will severely impact cities, potentially leading to more polluted environments. In the US, for example, driving accounts for approximately 75% of household-level CO2 emissions, while public transport, residential heating, and electricity consumption contribute to the remaining 25%, with petrol cars producing up to 9 times more carbon and electric cars producing up to 4 times more carbon compared to trains. And even with the growth of the electric cars market, the burden associated with motorized mobility using cars will remain, including their manufacture, infrastructure demands, congestion, particle pollution by tire wear, among other things. Unfortunately, traffic accidents are also a very common occurrence when it comes to vehicles on the road, being responsible for 1.19 million deaths every year globally. Suffice to say, the world of modern transportation is dominated by privately owned motor vehicles, which are highly inefficient, expensive to maintain, wasteful in terms of resources that they use, and can be outright dangerous sometimes. This is where trains come in as an alternative method of transportation, providing various benefits over other modes of travel. One of the key benefits of trains is the reduction of road traffic. Rail transit helps alleviate urban congestion in several important ways. The first is through mode shift. One of the most direct ways rail transit reduces congestion is by encouraging people to switch from cars to trains. High-quality rail services can offer faster, more reliable, and comfortable travel options, which often leads to a reduction in number of vehicles on the road. When people choose transit over driving, this directly reduces traffic volumes, which in turn congestion for everyone. Additionally, even if the time savings from rail are marginal, the perceived time savings are often greater due to the comfort and convenience of modern rail services, such as guaranteed seating and the ability to work or relax during the commute. Secondly is through reduced delays on parallel roads. Grade-separated transit, meaning rail lines that are elevated or run underground, help to ease congestion on parallel roadways. Because rail lines operate independently on surface-level traffic, they reduce the pressure on surrounding roads. In congested urban areas where every bit of additional capacity is valuable, even modest improvements in public transit can significantly reduce overall traffic delays by offering reliable alternative to cars. And lastly is through transit-oriented development, or TOD. Rail transit can also influence land use patterns by promoting TOD. TOD encourages compact, mixed-use, and walkable urban communities around transit stations. People who live in TOD areas are more likely to use public transit and less likely to own and rely on cars, thus reducing traffic congestion. While urban density can increase congestion, TOD helps reduce per capita congestion by offering better mobility options and making it easier for residents to meet daily needs without needing to drive. Over time, as TOD continues to expand, the cumulative effect is a city with lower overall levels of traffic and congestion. The integration of trains through transit-oriented development, or TOD, is also a more sustainable system compared to what we have now. This integration promotes low-carbon lifestyles by reducing reliance on cars for daily activities, potentially cutting energy consumption and driving by up to 85%. TOD encourages people to take public transportation like trains by enhancing transit accessibility and creating a mix of residential, commercial, and recreational spaces within easy reach of rail stations. A national high-speed rail network paired with regional and local rail systems forms a backbone of a sustainable transportation infrastructure. This integrated system reduces congestion and dependence on cars and oil, while significantly cutting carbon emissions. Clean electric trains powered by renewable energy sources like wind, solar, and geothermal can address global mobility, energy, environmental, and health challenges. Another significant benefit to trains is accessibility. Public transport is often used by people who do not have access to private motorized transport, and a high proportion of passengers tend to be children, old people, and women. This means that improvements to transit services can have important social impacts. For example, train services can offer mobility to people who may not otherwise have access to personal motorized transport like cars, and can increase their access to work opportunities and to educational and social activities. Trains can also reduce barriers to mobility for older adults and people with disabilities, allowing them to maintain independence and stay connected with their communities. For these individuals, accessible commuter lines can alleviate isolation by enabling them to attend appointments, run errands, or simply engage in social activities, which might otherwise be difficult without reliable transportation. By designing rail transit systems that cater to the needs of all residents, cities can foster more inclusive and equitable environments. In conclusion, trains are more than just a mode of transportation. They are the key to solving many of our modern mobility, environmental, and social challenges. With their ability to reduce congestion, lower carbon emissions, and promote more inclusive communities, rail systems offer a sustainable alternative to the inefficient, car-dependent lifestyle that dominates much of the world today. By investing in high-quality rail networks and integrating them with transit-oriented development, we can create cities that are more livable, accessible, and connected, where people can move freely, safely, and sustainably. Trains may have been overshadowed by other forms of transport, but they remain an indispensable part of the solution to building a greener, more equitable future. That's about all I have for today. If you're interested to learn more, all of the sources will be cited at the end of the video and in the description. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.